Cat girls. You know the ones. All the nya meows meows of the world. No, the title isn't a joke. These stupidly adorable anime women were literally the key to my growth as a person. Alright, picture this. You're just a shy kid who's fresh off the heels of the failure that is the Wii U, and you find out a new system is coming out from Nintendo. I, quite frankly, adored my 3DS. I never had the Wii U because at the time my mother really just thought it was the Wii again, and I couldn't really blame her. My 3DS was a Pokemon machine, and I would grasp at any opportunity to play the newest game every Christmas. So when I found out this new system was a hybrid handheld, I just knew I needed it. I knew Pokemon would be coming. But honestly, little did I know that another niche JRPG would just change the course of my life forever. The time finally comes for January 2017, the Nintendo Switch presentation. The tension was palpable. What would they make? A new Pokemon game for Switch? Could it be a new Smash Bros? Then it starts. We get Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8, cowboys staring at each other, arms, and then Splatoon 2! Finally, a game I was interested in. Ever since the Wii U, I've kind of wanted to play Splatoon, but I never had a chance. Then after that, we get Mario. Sweet, a new Mario game. I love Galaxy back at the way. And then I see it. A boy running through a pretty field on the back of a huge monster. Anime! Action! Finally! What my teenage weeb self needed. Then I see Peak. Look, I may be shallow, but once I saw this cat girl riding on a freaking tiger, it was over, dude. And wait, it's called Xenoblade Chronicles 2? Like, the same Xenoblade Shulk's from? I knew he was from the first game, and he seemed cool, but, man, I guess it's time I got into Xenoblade. Just like that, I was sold. This was a time in my life where anime was just a new hyperfixation. Slice of life, shonen, romance, you name it, I watched it. And hot off the heels of one of my favorite franchises, Sonic the Hedgehog, just having mid to boring games, I really just needed something different. I had no way to play Sonic Generations because my 360 broke, and no Wii U for Lost World. Forces was just a huge flop quality-wise. I had nothing to play. I needed something else, something new. So I turned to anime. Anime has always been a big part of my life, but I never really watched many outside of the normal shonens. And from then on, I just watched every single Nintendo Direct and Showcase, excited every time they showed news about Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And then the titular release date came. On Christmas of 2017, I got it. Breath of the Wild, Skyrim, which my brother played and I always wanted, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I opened up the game and, to be honest, I wasn't loving the combat all too much. As an early teen, it felt a little too complicated, and the tutorials were actually utterly garbage. But hey, I carried on. And you better bet, once I got Nia, which is the main cat girl party member of Xenoblade 2, she was my main character from then on, and I virtually never switched off her. She's, quite frankly, a very lovable and complex character with a pretty sad backstory. One thing I love about her is just how she just feels about herself. She hides herself away, running away from her past, not believing she could be loved the way she is. I resonated with that, being someone who didn't outwardly show much emotion out of fear like the real me would be hurt. She's smug, sassy, and literally just like me. Having a character like that really made the game 100 times better for me. Fast forward to near the end of the game, I was already struggling with the game's field skills, which require you to level specific things for your party and pass obstacles in the world. Like, I was loving the game, but as a person, I just absolutely hate to grind at video games. I played constantly and loved the story. The themes of finding yourself resonated with the young me trying to find out who he is in the world, while being too scared to put himself out there. The drama and action made the game just perfect. But finally, what I feared happened. I got field skill checked and I failed. And I'm just gonna say, looking back now, okay, I was a dumb kid, but I, for the life of me, did not want to grind and get past that field skill check. I hated the game's affinity chart because it just felt like locking important character growth behind side quests. So eventually I just got bored and frustrated. I played for an entire 85 hours of Xenoblade 2. And after so much trial and error and failing with my early teen brain, I just gave up. Eventually, the world moved on, and so did I. Eventually, I continued on, watching anime, playing more games on my PC and Switch, and in 2018, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate came out. Finally, a bastion of hope for my game Burnout, and you bet it was. I played it non-stop with my high school friend group, and to this day, I still have 1,000 hours just off online arena battles. By playing Smash Bros. All that time, one character just fascinated me. Shulk, the super British man with the lightsaber sword, who really feels it all the time. I was wondering, just what about Xenoblade was so enticing for me? I played Xenoblade 2 and it was just kind of good, but not a top 10 game for me. Xenoblade 1 was on the Wii, and well, my Wii was long gone by then, so I couldn't really try the first game. So I resolved myself. I'd go back to Xenoblade 2. And when I did, I figured it out and I passed the skill check. I then went on to experience completely peak fiction at the end of the game and kind of beat myself up over just not finishing it. It felt good, you know? I finished Xenoblade 2, finally. And you know, I like that ending so much, I should probably just go emulate Xenoblade 1. A mere couple weeks later, a Nintendo Direct in September 2019 took place, and the closer, oh my god, they're remaking Xenoblade 1. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Okay, this is it. I'm hyped. I couldn't wait. All those long months until the release of Xenoblade DE was spent playing my Switch games, one after another. One of which was Pokemon Sword and Shield, and more Smash Bros, of course. Keeping me busy until Xenoblade came out in May of 2020. One thing that really did suck was you. This man, he spoiled me to a major plot point in Xenoblade 1 through Smash Bros. And I tried, trust me, I tried to forget. But I went into Xenoblade 1 with this giant spoiler in my mind. And that said, I played it, and I couldn't put it down. I loved every aspect of the game's world building, the characters, and everything. I was a little bummed there was no cat girls, but you know, Melia was a worthy replacement for my cute cat girl in the game. I played all the way through Xenoblade 1 and 2, and I was captivated by just how they connected and the lore behind these games, and finally I'm caught up. So I did what any good lover of games would do, and I looked up all the lore and possible hints to Xenoblade 3. And that's what pushed that shy kid to finally interact with the community. Albeit in a very minimal way, I finally felt like I was part of an online group that kind of gets me, you know? People I could share my love for the series with. All my IRL friends didn't care a single bit about Xenoblade, so I sought refuge in channels like Luxon, who would make fun deep dives on lore and speculation. Now, this was all to really set up my favorite video game of all time, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. During the February 9th, 2022 Direct, they ended with something incredible. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It looked like everything I wanted in a video game. Super anime, but at the same time super serious, with a tone that felt like Xenoblade 1, but the aesthetic and characters almost akin to Xenoblade 2. And of course, I have to be honest, I was overjoyed when I saw another catgirl party member. I was obsessed with how this game could go. I watched trailer analyses, everything that I could about this game. I was addicted to the excitement. Before I get into Xenoblade 3, I need to preface, at this time, I was in my first ever relationship. So the themes of love and loss really smacked me over the head on this one. The main party for this game is these 6. Noah, Uni, Lance, Mio, Tyon, and Seta. The former 3 are from the nation of Kevez, which is the Xenoblade 1-like nation. The latter 3 being from the nation of Agnes, which is based on Xenoblade 2. The game is about a never-ending cycle of war in which 2 sides fight forever, and the people only live a mere 10 years. The main party breaks the cycle by being freed from war, but they still grapple with the time they have left to live. When I finally got this game, it was quite frankly divine. I love the characters, and they had the best relationships I've ever seen in any video game, and they just worked so well together. Every dynamic between them was just amazing, and the prospect of them going from enemies to begrudging allies, all the way to not being able to fathom about living without each other, really moved me. I've never felt so emotional about a video game before, and connected to how much the characters have themes of loss and stubborn determination. Of course, my favorite character was Mio. She was cute, introspective, and she was a cat girl. But I played the game more, and all that cuteness and catgirl bias kind of just fell apart when I saw her struggles. She is a character that has a limited time to live in 3 months, and watching her hide her emotions and pretend everything's alright, despite the party's goal being so far away, and taking so long, really resonated with me. I was never one to show how I felt, so I usually put on a facade so I wouldn't get hurt. Whenever I was my real self in school, a lot of people would just kind of have something negative to say about me, so I kind of just stayed quiet and never spoke freely. Mio kind of reminds me of myself. She's very introspective and struggles with the potential of dying and having nothing left to leave in this world. It's something we all think about, and I personally have thought about it a lot. I try to remedy that by making art, videos, and heck, I even want to make a video game someday and leave something behind. I like that eventually she just gets frustrated with the party, and more accurately Noah, who leads the party, for wasting time, almost like I kind of do with myself. Eventually, she breaks down, and all that emotion she's been bottling comes out in a truly spectacular scene, where she just confronts Noah about all the time they're wasting. She lashes out about how he can never understand how she feels, and that he has so much more time than her. She feels like nobody in the world can understand her struggle, and that really hits. Watching her break down and come back the next night just to apologize really ended up breaking me. I do the same thing when I'm overwhelmed. You just hold in all those emotions until you burst, and then overthink about the consequences of your actions. And the thing that Noah says really makes me love him as a character as well. He just apologizes and realizes that she's been having a hard time. And he's really kind about the whole situation too. Just really goes to show no matter how much you go through or how flawed you are, there's always someone to understand you, and he understands that she's cracking under the pressure, and that she doesn't mean any ill will. She just is overwhelmed with everything. Her character really pushes Noah to think outside the box and pay more attention to the feelings of others around him, even if they don't outwardly show it. Throughout the game, Mio is just trying to accept her new reality and what she can do in the limited time she's given. And I say all this without even mentioning how deep her character is with her struggles and wanting to live, and how she feels her life isn't even hers. She's living for someone else. Her denial of her own feelings, yet trying to keep others uplifted, is something that really resonates with me on another level. She hides her feelings, almost as if she doesn't deserve to feel the way she does. After that scene with Noah, she lashes out, and she learns that what she wants is to have someone like Noah in her life, and she realizes that maybe her life is worth living, and she has other people to share her problems with. Another thing that connects with me is the main villain of Xenoblade 3, called Mobius, a group that wishes the world to go on forever, and perpetuates its existence by forcing the world to go on forever despite its slowly dying state. Another character that particularly grabbed me was one of the Mobius antagonists, Consul N. Without spoiling the game, he's virtually someone who would do anything for the person he loves, and that's his entire life. It's really, really sad. Like, why would you live your life just to be with the person you love and nothing else? Why torture yourself and others just to be with your partner when you're hurting everybody? Well, it's because he loved her. And at the time, I really resonated with that. I was in a relationship, and we were very codependent on each other. And I loved my partner, almost obsessively. So what was the point in anything else? All is fine as long as we love each other, right? Why do I care about anything as long as my partner's happy? How I feel doesn't really matter compared to how my partner does. I'll be the rock to weather any problem they have. That relationship was falling apart for years, and neither of us broke it off when we should have. It was unhealthy. In that moment, N was a character that, well, was just like me. Of course he would sacrifice everything and anything for the person he loves. Who wouldn't? It's what I thought. The ending beat me over the head with the themes to the point of tears, and I loved every second of it. So, as I finished the game, quite frankly, it was the best game I've ever played. The combat, the music, the story, really just hit on all cylinders. And to this day, I've replayed the game almost 5 times. And I'll do so again when the Switch 2 edition comes out very soon. Eventually, the time came, and me and my ex broke up. This hit me really hard, but it also made me realize I was selfish and put all my worth and love into another person, just as N did. I was just like him, someone who couldn't handle a person who had made my entire life just leaving me. And in the end, I really connected with this arc and the whole themes of the game. I was just like N, a person who, by trying to pour my everything into who I love, ended up hurting them by becoming stagnant and never changing. I ended up hurting myself by bottling my emotions and sticking it out through everything without asking my partner for help and taking everything on by myself. And yes, life is hard, but you can't just hold on to the now forever. There's a whole lot more life to live than just obsessing over what you have now. I've learned a lot through these games, and life is just precious and limited. You need to take care of yourself while being kind to others. Everything is equal and everyone is equal, and that includes yourself. You shouldn't just hide away how you feel, or you'll become stagnant and end up hurting yourself in the end. These games taught me, no matter what happens, striving towards what you believe is what all of us should be doing. Don't hold yourself back. Don't let your thoughts and anxiety get to you. And in the end, what really matters is your actions and what you decide to do. I know I've learned a lot since I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 back in 2018, and I'm still growing. And in the end, that's all thanks to Cat Girls. What we need to do now is just look forward towards your chosen horizon and just
walk on.